Hi guys, and welcome to another video. It's been the first one in a long while, I'm afraid. I do apologise about that. Been extremely busy, but seeing as it's starting to get a bit colder now and we're heading into October, the winter's on the horizon unfortunately, I think people might be spending a lot more time at home, hopefully cooped up, nice and warm, watching a good film. So I think a lot of people are going to be looking at their TV and surround sound at the moment and hi-fi, and looking at potentially upgrading and getting a nice setup for the winter. So today we're going to start by talking about the Monitor Audio Radius 45. So I'd probably describe it as a budget surround sound package speaker. It starts at £219 for the pair, so you get two of these. Generally seen as a small little satellite speaker, but you know, a lot of people are going to be looking at this now as they move from maybe an all-in-one, DVD player, DVD amp package, kind of a budget 5.1. They might be looking to get a more premium 5.1, getting a separate AV amplifier and some quality speakers, and this is a good place to start. It's only a small little speaker, but really does pack a punch, and that's due to the technology that Monitor Audio have packed inside here. So, like they say themselves, it really shouldn't sound as good as it does, but that's because of a few little bits of technology they've used. They've used a C-cam tweeter on the back. So it's a rear-facing tweeter, and the idea is if it's mounted on a bracket, like the Mass M bracket here, if it's mounted on a bracket, it's only going to be a few inches away from the wall. Thus, that tweeter is going to disperse and reflect and use the wall as kind of a sound wall and vibrate across the room and disperse more evenly. That's the idea, at least. And it's got a 3-inch mid-range driver on the front, which it's quite immersive, to be fair. I've been using these for a few months now just to get used to them and run them in. They really are great for surround sound speakers. They really do pack a punch, and they're quite directional, so you really can pick out where stuff's going on around you, whether it be a gunshot or something like that, or a car chase, or a jungle scene. You really can pick out where stuff's going on. Really impressive. The big kind of question is, do you buy 4 of these and have these as fronts as well, or do you just buy them as rears? And I'm hoping to answer that later on in the video for you, as we kind of look at the details and have a little zoomed in look at the speaker. So, closer look at the speaker. This is the front. So we have a metal fixed grille. I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of metal grills, to be honest with you. I think they must make a small difference to the sound quality, because they're not going to allow the sound to pass through as easily as something cloth or canvas. So I'm not sure how I feel about that, but nevertheless they still sound fantastic for the size. As we look around the speaker, this is a satin finish. It's quite glossy, but it doesn't actually scratch as easily as you'd think. The black gloss, the high black gloss, does scratch, I'm afraid. So it can leave marks and stuff on it if you're not careful. So this is that 3/4 inch tweeter we're talking about, the C-cam tweeter, rear facing, copper. Let me just zoom in there. See if you can see that. And as we look down the back of the speaker, we have the speaker terminals, which are either bare wire screw fit or banana plugs, which you can obviously put the banana plug straight in the back. The banana plugs can be a bit troublesome if you're using the bracket on the back, because they don't offer a huge amount of space between the wall and the bracket. But yep, that's the speaker, and they're 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. So it's 10 by 10 by 10. So only a very small speaker. So if you're not looking for something that's going to be a big eyesore, or you don't want to mount a bookshelf speaker in the back of the wall or the front of the wall, this might be the speaker for you. So finally, guys, a few little facts about the speakers, and then my final opinion. The speakers will set you back £219 for the pair. Like I said earlier, they come in white, satin white, walnut, which is a really nice finish. Like it looks like real wood. I know it's only a veneer, but it looks like a real wood. And gloss black. I personally like the white if it's going to blend into the wall. If you really want quite a classy finish, the walnut's really stylish. Speakers at 8 ohms, and they'll be driven by anything from a 20-watt channel amp, so you don't really need a huge amount of power to drive them. I definitely wouldn't recommend using them as just a hi-fi left and right speaker. They're not made for that. They're not very open and wide for music. They haven't got that depth, that detail, that range. They can't control that very well. So I'd recommend them as satellite speakers in a hi-fi system. Again, the fact that they only have the frequency range is 120 to 20,000 hertz, so they don't get very low. So again, I'd recommend a decent subwoofer if the room, and possibly 2 subwoofers or one large one if the room's quite big, because these speakers aren't going to get down to that bass level. They're not going to rumble a room on their own. They do need a subwoofer, or they do need some help from big front speakers. But again, if you've got a front, left and right, or a center speaker as well, and you really want to take your system to the next level, and you want maybe even to possibly add Atmos by putting these as front heights at the top of the wall, or if you're just looking to go to the next step and take it to a 5.1 and give you that atmospheric surround sound, these are fantastic speakers, and I really couldn't recommend them enough. You can wall mount, like I said earlier, or you can use the floor stands as well if you haven't got a rear wall behind the seating position. But yeah, fantastic little speakers, brilliant as part of a 5.1, brilliant as atmospheric speakers, as height speakers, as rear speakers, but I wouldn't use them as front speakers. Just that extra jump to the Radius 90s, slightly bigger ones with the tweeter on the front make a huge amount of difference. Really opens up, and really a lot more control, a lot more mid-range, a lot more fluid and dynamic. Just jumping up to those 90s, the slightly bigger ones. They do a center speaker as well, the 225, and they do the Radius subwoofers. But to be honest with you, I do like the RAL subwoofers with the Radius package, so I'd possibly look at getting these two as rears, buying the Radius center, and possibly some front speakers. You could even go up to the Monitor Audio bronze speakers or silver speakers as floor standers if you wanted to. And yeah, I'd recommend a decent amp, but these will sound fantastic in any system. Brilliant little speakers, really pack a punch, and like Monitor Audio say, they sound much better than they should. Cheers guys, thanks for watching. I've got a few new videos coming on the way. I'm looking at a RAL subwoofer soon, the new Motive 5-channel power amplifier. I'm going to do a final review of my Arcam amp I've been using. But yeah, stay tuned guys, and they'll be coming soon. Make sure you like and subscribe please. Cheers.